Hello. We have 4 stories today from Am I the Jerk while we say Salam Alaikum to Egypt. I actually had 4 other stories selected when I logged in last night, but then I saw 2 juicy-looking stories at the tippity top with more awards than I've ever seen. There was so many shinies and colors, I couldn't resist. And if you read the thumbnail, you know that neither could one man and his mother? I know. It's ew already. Story 1. So, I'm getting married to my fiancé soon. I bought my wedding dress weeks ago. His mom, my future mother-in-law, kept pestering me about trying it on, but I firmly refused. I finally shut it down after she offered me $100 to let her try it on. Her reasoning for persisting so much? She says it's because of her love for wedding dresses and her obsession with them. Fast forward to yesterday, I came home from work early and I found my fiancé at home. He freaked out after seeing me and tried to prevent me from going into my room while trying to text somebody on his phone. I opened the door and was shocked to see his mom standing there wearing my dress. I instantly pulled out my phone and took a photo of her in it. She and my fiancé freaked out after I told her that she needed to pay me for a new dress in 3 days or else I'll show the whole family the photo. She started crying and then left, and my fiancé blew up at me, saying I can't be serious and that I overreacted because his mom just wanted to try the dress on. No harm done. But I refused to listen to him because in my opinion, the dress should only be worn by the bride and the bride only. Quite frankly, I felt disgusted looking at the dress again. I don't want it anymore. And so I think it's fair that she pays me after she ruined it for me. He yelled at me and told me to wake up and stop treating his mom like that as if she was an enemy. We had a fight after he failed to get me to back down, and he's been staying with his mom since then. I felt awful, but I spent $3,000 on this dress and worked hard to get it. I can't stand looking at it, but people in my family think I'm escalating things and risking my relationship with not only future mother-in-law, but my fiancé as well. Am I the jerk? Update 1. Oh my God. This blew up, and so I thought I'd add some updates. My fiancé called and offered to pay for the dress himself so we can end the conflict. But he wants me to hand him my phone so he can delete the photo himself, swear that I don't have any copies to use against his mom later, and apologize to his mom. And lastly, he asked that I quit his family group chat and log out of Facebook for at least a month. I haven't responded yet. P.S. He called with this offer in these conditions hours ago, but I didn't want to include this in the post, but now I did. Also, I'm not sure if I'll agree because I don't want him to pay for it. I want his mom, the one who wore it, to pay for it. Not being vicious, but trying to hold her accountable. In the comments, Demon Goddess Lilith said, "Not the jerk, but girl, why would you marry this man? He let his mother wear your wedding dress. That doesn't make your skin crawl?" Street 1 replied, "It makes me go, ew! New dress, new fiancé." Champy Fuel said, "Not the jerk, but honestly, don't ask for money. He stood guard while his mom tried on your dress. You really want to get stuck in a relationship like this? Show the photo to everyone, cancel the wedding and dump his behind. You deserve better than that." Emerald Fire replied, "I'd be petty and post the photo on social media, tagging them as the announcement of why the wedding was off and the relationship is over." He stood guard as his mother tried on the wedding dress his fiancé was going to wear to marry him. There's no coming back from that enmeshment. Long Jumping Hat added, and with the caption, "Congratulations to the happy couple. I hope Norman and Mrs. Bates will have a wonderful life together." Oedipus complex much? My gosh. Run! Run for your life, OP! You are definitely not the jerk. But your future husband and future mother-in-law are both jerks. The standing guard is the real kicker here. It's not like he walked in on his mom in the dress. No. This took planning. As in the mom and son chatted about a time when she could come over and try on the dress, while he made sure nobody else saw. What's the end game here? What was the plan after she was in the dress? Wouldn't we all like to know? Or would we? Ugh, gross. Our second story was the second of the stories with enough awards to make you do a double take and wonder if you've just seen a rainbow because they filled the screen. When one family pup goes missing, one woman makes a discovery that will change her life forever. While the tale itself may be a short mystery, who's the jerk? Well, this might just be one of the most lopsided votes we'll ever see. In story 2. While the tale itself may be a short mystery, I, 34-year-old female, live with my husband, 37-year-old male, and daughter, 7-year-old female. My daughter and I recently went on a short trip out of state while my husband stayed as he had work and was supposed to look after our dog. On the last day of our trip, we got a call from my husband who was acting distraught and said that our dog Ellie had run away and that he could not find her. He claimed she just bolted away from him in the park into some bushes and he could not find her. Our dog is quite small, a mini poodle mix and almost 13 years old. She is still active, but it is really unlike her to run away from us. I was suspicious, but chose to believe my husband, and me and my daughter were in grief, but did not want to blame him. When we came back home, he seemed surprisingly okay, unlike us. Ever since the pandemic, my husband started working from home, and he has always been annoyed at how much attention we gave Ellie, and hated how Ellie begged to sit on our laps and his while he worked. A few days later, we got a call from an animal rescue in a neighboring state quite far from us that she had been found. I picked up the phone and it was on our landline, which we almost never use these days, but was the contact on the microchip. I told my husband and he just said, "That is great, I am so happy." But it felt kind of blunt and insincere. I said it is strange that she got so far, and he responded that someone must have stolen her and then abandoned her. This made little sense to me as to why that would happen. When he was out drinking with his buddies, I copied the videos from his dashcam for the days I was away and saw that he had indeed taken Ellie far out of state. He clearly dropped her in front of his car, thrown a frisbee-like object into a field, yelled fetch, and drove off without her. I was livid and confronted him, and he just stupidly muttered how he dropped her there so she could find a farm and have a better life. Then the next day got really angry at me for viewing his dashcam and called me and my daughter jerkholes. In the comments, Garden Safe said, "Not the jerk. Keep your dog and daughter, and leave the husband in another state to find another family he'd have a better life with." Rez Cougar replied, "Don't forget to throw him a frisbee." My Poor Nerves added, "End the wedding band. Then yell, fetch." Rick Russell, Texas said, "Not the jerk. If this story is even true, then it's perfectly obvious who the jerk is. And who records themselves doing something like that? He's either an idiot or he wanted to be caught." OP replied, "I would say idiot. It would not be the first time he has done idiotic things, and he is so brazenly confident he forgets to even hide it. Makes me wonder what stuff he has done we do not know about." Deep Manor said, "Wow, not the jerk. You had a gut feeling and were absolutely right. This is horrible. What your husband did is sick and cruel. He left an innocent animal to die. Obviously, what you do now is up to you. But if it were me, I would never be able to trust him again. The entire relationship would be ruined. He needs to seek therapy if he is so insecure that he is jealous of a dog. Pathetic excuse for a man." OP replied, "Oh, I will never trust him again, and I am going to be seeing a lawyer soon. I might have a lot to lose as I earn significantly more than him." Dashcam for the win, and for proving that the husband is the obvious jerkhole. I wonder how long he had this in the works. Had he been waiting for his wife and daughter to go on a trip so he could attempt to murder poor Ellie? What a sociopath. If he had realized that he was pretty much forfeiting his family and life, he might have thought twice about recording the entire thing. What an idiot. Our third story is the shortest, but is the Reddit equivalent of a standing ovation. When a high school teacher decides to sneak away and disappear from her class, one young lady decides the classroom is the absolute perfect place to teach one loudmouth bully a lesson she won't soon forget. In story 3, I, 18-year-old female, have moderate hearing loss. I lost hearing over the years with many ear-related incidents. I wear hearing aids to hear people talk sometimes, but I mainly use them at school. When I start a school year, I tell the teacher that I wear hearing aids, and they normally put me next to their desks so I can hear them without the use of my hearing aids. In one of my classes, I have a girl, Lily. Lily likes to yell at people to get them to come to her instead of getting up to talk to them. No matter who tells her to stop, she won't. The teacher stopped trying to get her to stop a long time ago. In this class, we have to take notes. Lily missed notes day, and the teacher told her to find someone with notes. No one near her wanted to give her the notes, so she chose me. I was on the opposite side of the room, and she began yelling at me. She has done this all year, and it was annoying. I didn't look at her. I just kept working on other schoolwork. I wasn't going to give her special treatment because she was lazy. She had no mobility issues. She just doesn't want to walk to other people. She kept getting louder and more frustrated that I wasn't going to her. She yelled at me for 10 minutes before she stood up and walked over to me. She was very mad at me and kept saying that it was stupid that I didn't go to her and that she shouldn't have to stand up. She very loudly asked, "What are you, deaf?" The entire class was watching us. I have no idea where the teacher was. I slowly turned to her before taking out the case that has my hearing aids in it and made a show of putting them in. I then very loudly asked her, "What?" She got very red in the face and then turned around and walked back to her seat. No one in that class knew I wore hearing aids because my hair covers them. My sister said it was mean of me to do that to her because she didn't know and I wasn't wearing my hearing aids and I could hear her because she was very loud. So am I the jerk? In the comments, "Gosh, I don't know," said, "Hopefully she'll stop now and think before she speaks." Diver's mom replied, "Or before screaming at someone across a room." Someone else added, "She won't." Durende replied, "Speak up, I can't hear you." Narangham said, "Not the jerk. She got what she deserved. You put in your hearing aids." Her thoughts, "Oh crap, she is. Oh God. Everyone in the class just saw me make a complete fool out of myself by asking her an insensitive question." Han Depikobur asked, "Wait, so the teacher lets her scream like that all the time? She screamed for 10 minutes straight and they didn't tell her to calm down?" OP replied, "It doesn't matter what the teacher says, she doesn't listen. She's been suspended many times already for stuff like that. Also, the teacher wasn't in the room. She left after telling her to get notes. No clue where she was." Not the jerk. Lily needed to learn her lesson and OP was prepared to teach it. This is practically a modern fable. Stop yelling at people, get off your butt, and don't be rude. Hopefully, Lily was mortified and will never do this again. I'm not going to hold my breath though. Our fourth story was another smash hit and another absolutely lopsided vote as an ancient, age-old threat emerges. No, it's not a flood or a plague. It's mom telling you she's going to turn the car around if you don't smarten up. Well, one mother decides enough is enough and finally does exactly what she said she would do, despite pleading and begging from everyone young and old. In story 4, my husband and I have 3 kids. 9-year-old male, 8-year-old male, and 3-year-old female. The boys have been driving us crazy. They fight like cats and dogs. We've had countless talks with them about respecting each other to no avail. I understand sibling rivalry, but it's gotten to the point it's disruptive to us all, every day. I already told my husband last week I wasn't sure if the vacation was a good idea. My husband shut me down pretty much immediately, and things went ahead as planned. First of all, the 3.5-hour car ride was predictably hell. Boys fighting and riling each other up the whole time. Husband and I kept trying to reassure each other that things would be better once we got there, and they would be too excited to cause trouble. We were wrong. They had so many reminders of what not to do once we got to the rental house, so they do everything wrong from the get-go. Shoes on the white furniture? Check. Running in the house? Check. I turned my back for 2 seconds and the 8-year-old threw a box of chalk in the pool to keep his brother from getting it. We went out to lunch and they were out of control in the restaurant. 9-year-old ran away from us in a strange place because he didn't get his way. We finally go to the beach and they are frankly being brats. Refusing sunscreen, fighting over toys, pushing their luck repeatedly, going farther and farther out in the water than we told them to, cursing. By the time we got back to the house, it was around dinner time and I was fed up. They were totally ruining it for everybody. Nothing had worked and I told my husband we needed to go home for the reasons mentioned above, namely that they needed to see a real consequence. My husband still insisted it would get better. I put my foot down and told him that I didn't even want to be there at that point, so either I was leaving or we all were. He got super pissed and told me it was ridiculous and unfair to our daughter. I actually agree with him, but saw no other choice at this point. Of course, when I tell the kids, they immediately burst into tears and are begging to stay, promising they will behave. My mother, who came with us, was also near tears. She thinks her precious grandbabies do no wrong. She argued with me too, begging me to just let it go. But I refused to budge. So we left, less than 24 hours into a 4-day vacation. Half the ride home was spent with them sobbing, and my husband pretty much gave me the silent treatment the whole way. My mother decided to stay behind a little longer, but then started randomly texting me about 30 minutes in, asking if I was serious. She knew I was. She told me the whole reason she came was to spend time with the kids. So I had now ruined it for everybody, and they're only little once. Here we are the following evening, and pretty much no one likes me right now except my 3-year-old. Are they right? Am I the jerk? In the comments, similar sense took immediate action. Asterisk. Snorts a line of birth control. Asterisk. Cindy Sphinx added, hijacking the top comment to say, Mama, you should take your littlest one for a girls' night out and let the dad and grandma deal with the boys. Or offer separate trips. Sucks, I know, but we're trying to teach a valuable lesson here. Haha, lol. Betcha they'll be talking about implementing discipline by the time you get back. North Badger said, not the jerk. The jerk is your husband who is questioning your authority in front of the kids. The other jerk is your mother, who wants you to raise future serial killers apparently. No, you are enforcing discipline as any good parent should. Look out, Comrade said, you're the jerk. Your kids are jerks because they were raised by bad parents. Jerks. They are under 10. I completely blame the parents. You need to figure stuff out. Both you and your husband need to get on the same page with respect, responsibilities, and discipline. That last comment was a bit harsh in my opinion, because it seems to me like OP is in between a rock and a hard place. Kids sniff out weakness, and parents not on the same page reeks of weakness. It's a chink in the armor of parenting that is ripe for destruction, and these hellions know how to work the situation and will continue to do so while they are enabled by their father and grandmother. The real jerks of this story. Those two need to experience the consequences of their inaction and see what it's like to fend for themselves with these two. And that's it for today. Until next time, shine bright, Starlight. Yahoo! If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.